And a very happy Thursday to you at 12:07 in the West. It's the John Phillips Show. Mr. Randy Wang's in Culver City.
Well, Gavin Newsom is minutes away from taking the stage of his, quote, response to Election Rigging Act legislation that might be hitting the ballot in the state of California. The opening act is former Assemblywoman and current head of the California Federation of Labor, Lorena Gonzalez, and her filthy mouth.
And we are proud to stand with our governor, Gavin Newsom, who is ready and asking us to fight back. We will fight back every single day, and we will go to every one of our members and every member of the public to remind them that if you care about your future, if you care about your kids' future, you have to recognize this. I don't care what your job is. I don't care what part of the state you live in. I don't care where you came from. You have more in common with an undocumented farm worker than you did with the billionaires who are causing this problem in the first place.
Well, it sounds like it's on brand with Gavin.
Oh, she said this earlier, too.
So we tell our members who believed him, it's okay. He lied.
Such a classy woman.
Did you see that the sexual harassment lawsuit against her, I guess, still husband was dropped?
Well, it's just hard to litigate these things when everyone involved in the story is a dirtbag.
Apparently, she deleted a bunch of text messages that showed that their affair was consensual.
It's unreal what these people are willing to do to get out of trouble. It's like with the current Bryce thing, where yesterday we did that story, and he's saying, no, I'm not guilty of public corruption. I'm guilty of grand theft, and the statute of limitations ran out on that, so too bad, so sad.
Sure, we knocked boots in the closet of the San Diego MTA, but we were both on board about it.
Apparently, Adam Schiff is now on stage, and he's talking about government censorship and how awful that is.
We'll bring you some of this sound tomorrow. We would never make you suffer by taking this press conference live. Plus, I literally can't because they're all dropping F-bombs.
And did you see the poll that dropped this morning about that, where 2/3 of Californians say they're going to vote no on this thing?
And then immediately, Gavin's press lapdog, Izzy Gardone, says, well, that's not the exact question that's going to be on the ballot, so that's fake news.
So here's what they're going to do. If they're starting out with 2/3 of the state against them, they're going to have to spend $100 million to trick you into voting yes on this thing.
How much money does Gavin have left over from the recall?
Whatever he has is going into this, because if he puts this on the ballot and he can't get California to vote for it, that's the end of his presidential ambitions. It's over. So even more of a reason to vote no.
I mean, it's a special election, which means turnout is going to be very, 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 very low. And it is a very complicated issue to the average person that does not pay attention to this.
Here's where he's running into trouble, though. Is California a blue state? Yes. Are there more Democrats than Republicans? Yes. But there's not a Democratic majority in terms of registration. The reason that Democrats win so many elections in California is because of our independence, or I guess here we call them decline the states, or no party preference. Those voters lean heavily blue. Those people typically vote for the Democratic candidate. They, generally speaking, line up left of center, but for whatever reason, they don't identify as Democrats. What he is asking them to do is he is saying, in order to preserve democracy, we have to rig elections, and you also have to sacrifice by getting poor service. Because if they take the congressman from your community away from you and they assign you to someone who lives nowhere near you, if you have problems with your Social Security check, you're on your own. But the ask is, we want you to make all of these sacrifices out of partisan loyalty. Well, if you're not a Democrat to begin with, why would you say yes to that? I understand why Democrats say yes to that, but if you're anyone who's not a Democrat, why in the world would you ever sign on to this? In fact, we already voted on this before when we established this commission, and it wasn't a squeaker. This thing passed by a wide margin. So what he's going to do is this is going to be Prop 57 all over again. When they made it what did they call that one on the ballot?
Well, Prop 47 was the one that was titled the Safe Neighborhoods and Schools Act. I can't remember what Prop 57 was called.
Right, yeah. The Safe Neighborhoods and Schools Act is what lets everyone out of prison and you can get away with anything you want to do.
Or you remember in 2018 when there was a ballot measure to repeal the gas tax, and it was titled the Defund Roads and Bridges Act.
Right. So what they're going to do with this thing is they're going to call it the Motherhood and Apple Pie Initiative. And it's Rob Bonta, who is arguably the most corrupt person in the entire state of California, who's going to be in charge of writing the title and summary for this initiative.
Prop 57 was known as the Public Safety and Rehabilitation Act of 2016.
That's the one that reclassified raping an unconscious person as a misdemeanor.
Yes.
And discharging a firearm on school grounds.
Yes, and early parole for all kinds of non-violent offenders. And that's the one that makes it so on day one of your prison sentence, you automatically are serving less than 50% of it.
So this is what they're going to have to do to get this thing over the finish line. It's going to be deception central. And the problem that he's going to have is, unlike with Proposition 1, which was the Money for the Bums Act, that he campaigned up and down the state for, and it barely got over the finish line. Barely got over the finish line. In fact, they had to count ballots for weeks after before they finally declared it to be a winner.
It kept going 51, 49, 51, 49, 51.
There was no organized opposition to it. I think it was the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association that was doing the heavy lifting, but they didn't have a significant amount of money to mount the no campaign. They just did it through the grassroots. With this initiative, whatever they end up calling it, there will be an organized opposition. You're going to have Arnold Schwarzenegger, who has already pledged to campaign up and down the state against it, and he's going to be funded by Charles Munger, who is a billionaire, who was the one who put the money up for the last initiative that ended up passing. So you're going to have a bold-faced name as the face of the opposition, and you're going to have a billionaire who is going to be writing the checks. Now, you watch. Newsom is going to make it seem like the billionaires want you to vote no, and it's the grassroots that want you to vote yes, when he's probably going to put together $100 million for this thing. But if there is an organized campaign against it, which right now it appears that there will be, Newsom is taking a position that is indefensible. I want to rig elections to save democracy.
Well, they say they're doing it in response to what Texas is doing. How dare they?
That's right. And only by rigging elections can we save the Democratic Republic.
If they're going to rig theirs, we're going to rig ours. Mind you, every state pretty much is doing this now.
Well, and what he's also doing, and if you look at the website, it's interesting. What he's doing is building a database of potential supporters for when he runs for president. He's directing you to a website where you plug in your email and you plug in your name and you plug in your demographic information so he knows who to reach out to when he runs for president. This is a dry run for him to build a national profile, a national database of potential supporters when he declares in the Democratic primary. However, typically the way it works is when you are campaigning on behalf of an initiative, if you start out below 60% on the yes side, it's going to be a very difficult putt. You need to start out north of 60%, because once the no side starts making their argument and they start hitting you on the airwaves, whatever number you're at, it's going to go down. So you need enough of a cushion when you start taking hits that you can get over the finish line. If this thing is starting out with 33% support, they're going to have to build it and then hope not to lose it. That's what they're up against here. And going back to what I said before, I understand why the partisan Democrats will vote for this. If you're an independent, what do you have to gain here? If you live in a rural part of Northern California, let's say you live in Lassen County. Right now you have a member in the Congress who lives in your community, who has an office not far from where you live. If they take that portion of the state, which is up near the Nevada border in the northernmost part of the state, and they put you in a district that's based out of Marin, guess what happens when you need something? You're not going to get it. First of all, are you going to be willing to drive to Marin to meet with your member or meet with someone in their office because you have a problem with your Social Security check or your VA benefits or whatever? They're going to look at you like you're a pain in the ass, and they're going to know that the district lines are going to change when we do the next census in 2030, so they're just going to ignore you. Any problem that you have with the federal government, you will be on your own until 2030. Again, I understand why partisan Democrats would vote for this, but anyone else, you're not.
So Gavin's just about to take the stage, and I have the sound off, but it's playing on my computer, and YouTube is generating auto captions. YouTube generates Gavin Newsom as Gavin Newsom.
And right beside him, he's got Lorena Gonzalez, who is the woman in charge of the California Federation of Labor. So the fact that she got top billing shows you where she stands in this state with that crowd.
Oh, wow. KTLA's taking this live. Do they have a dump button?
Maybe they're on a delay. I don't know.
There was a lot of cursing at this rally already. I'm afraid to take it live.
Well, I wouldn't.
It's also, this is all the nonsense part of it. This is all the campaigning part of it. The most interesting part of any of these press conferences is the Q&A, which the television networks will dip out of and will be probably an hour or an hour and a half from now. So we'll grab that sound if there's any good sound tomorrow.
Adam Schiff, looking at him on camera, has the biggest head of any individual I've ever seen before in my entire life.
He's in that 97th percentile?
Could you imagine what childbirth must have been like with him?
Hopefully mommy had a cesarean.
God willing. And Alex Padilla, who I think is younger than Schiff, looks like he's 900 years old and he's about to fall asleep.
Alex Padilla is 52?
That's a hard 52.
What was he doing in Van Nuys in his 20s?
So this is Newsom's crowd. He thinks this is going to propel him to national stardom. Can you imagine what's going to happen to his political career if the voters voted down?
It'll be a massive embarrassment.
I think so. All right, so that's what's going on at the Gavin Newsom press conference. We're going to have to listen to it later on, and then we'll play the sound for you tomorrow because there's just so much cursing. We cannot take it live. So you'll have that to look forward to. If you'd like to email the show, you can do so at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. That's johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. And Randy, if you missed yesterday's show and you want to find out just exactly who the worst neighbor in all of Van Nuys is, that's easy to do.
All you got to do is search for The John Phillips Show wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's the Apple Podcasts app, iHeart, Spotify. Search for The John Phillips Show. Hit subscribe. You can download all the episodes. You can do a Google on the YouTube. You can get the KABC app. You can get the KSFO app. There are so many ways to listen to this show, and by listening to this show, listen to the saga of the Van Nuys Hornblower.
And we're going to have an update on that later on in the program, in fact, coming up next. But in the meantime, what do you say we make a couple of listeners very happy?
Oh, I'm so excited about this. All right, get your dial-in fingers ready, everybody. 790 KABC welcomes Shucked, the Tony Award-winning musical comedy about corn. It's coming to the legendary Hollywood Pantages Theater August 19th through September 7th. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. But right now, caller number 9 at 1-888-790-5222 gets a pair of tickets to the show on August 28th. Tickets furnished by the Hollywood Pantages Theater. Good luck dialing.
So last night, my Angels not only swept the Dodgers for the 3-game series in Anaheim, they swept them for the entire season, beating them 6 times in a row.
If only that weighed more on their standing in the American League.
I'm still holding out hope that we'll make one of the wild card slots.
What are you in, 4th place?
Something like that.
It's a tough division you're in. You've got the Astros, the Mariners, and the Rangers.
Well, we do have the A's to beat up on.
There is that. Who aren't even the worst team in baseball right now.
No, they're coming to town next. They'll be there over the weekend. And Dodger fans, you have to do better. I saw nothing but videos on my social media feed last night of Dodger fans being frustrated and fighting with people. I saw one guy get kicked in the head for no reason.
Well, that is what Dodger fans are famous for.
Come on, Dodger fans. Vinny would not approve. If you'd like to email the show, you can do so at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. That's johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. And Randy, you're monitoring the mailbag.
Cynthia and Laverne writes in at johnnydon'tlikeshow@gmail.com. Guys, please remind everyone listening that Lorena Gonzalez was the person behind taking away independent contractor rights with AB 5. No gig workers of any kind. A lot of live music groups, including live opera, etc., theaters have closed in California because of her. She is horrible.
Okay, Randy, you have some breaking news for us being reported by KCRA-TV's Ashley Zavala involving the Newsom campaign rally.
Ashley Zavala tweeted this out a few minutes ago under her Twitter account, Zavala A. You should all follow it if you like to cover California politics. California taxpayers appear to be paying for a rally that has been organized and being streamed with state resources for Governor Newsom and other Democratic leaders' redistrict ballot initiative that they're calling the Election Rigging Response Act.
Okay, here's another interesting wrinkle. The law says you can't have a new map until the public has an opportunity to talk about it and to debate it in a public forum. One has been scheduled at the California Capitol by the California Senate. But listen to this. This is also coming from Ashley Zavala. An ad has already been cut for a ballot initiative in California that technically doesn't exist, has not had a single hearing, and for an election that cannot legally take place without a change in state law. So they already have it done, and they already have the ads put together and up for something that doesn't even exist.
Gavin Newsom posted the ad on his Gavin Newsom Twitter account. By the way, the bio of the Gavin Newsom Twitter account: husband to Jen Newsom and father, 40th governor of California, and host of a podcast.
Wait, he's the husband? I thought he was the partner.
Apparently he's the husband here. We would play you the ad, but they got to pay for that.
You look at this and you go, okay, I'm not an attorney, but all of this is blatantly against the law.
Oh, what does that matter anymore?
But I guess it's anything goes here. If you want to take over an intersection and loot a 7-Eleven, that's okay. If you want to take taxpayer dollars and use them to fund a campaign rally and already put ads up for a map that's not even supposed to exist, why not? In theory, all of these people should go to jail. You can't do that.
They're gonna.
They are, and they're probably going to get away with it, too. I'll tell you one guy who's not going to get away with what he's doing, and that's the man with the horn in Van Nuys.
Isn't it funny how residents complained to the LAPD for months? Apparently they never complained to Imelda, or if they did, Imelda's lying about it. But they complained for months about this guy driving his neighbors insane, violating all kinds of noise ordinances. One day after Channel 11 and Channel 7 and Channel 5 and Channel 2 all put cameras on this street in Van Nuys, hornblower got arrested.
It's only because the news shamed them that anyone cared.
For more on the arrest, let's go to ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
And we have breaking news tonight involving this neighborhood nightmare.
That's why he's the best.
Love that alliteration.
And we have breaking news tonight involving this neighborhood nightmare playing out in Van Nuys. New video tonight showing the man responsible for blaring horns and sirens being taken into custody. It's a saga we've been following for 2 days, and tonight the LAPD is taking action.
This is why local news matters, specifically local television news.
Without local TV news, this guy would be doing this forever.
Eyewitness News reporter Tim Caputo live in that neighborhood with the new video and the latest information. Tim.
And Mark, I'll pause for a second because you could literally hear crickets out here tonight. Residents in this neighborhood will sleep easy this evening, both literally and figuratively, as the man who lives in this house here behind me that has been blasting loud noises through the streets is in jail tonight.
Are we going through the same thing again?
Whoa!
Someone's angry.
That was him as he was getting dragged away by the cops, who finally responded to the complaints. Well, finally, we're allowed to respond to the complaints. Let's be honest about what happened here.
Yeah, Karen Bass doesn't want the cops enforcing the law or arresting anyone, and they all know it.
Are we going through the same thing again?
We can't arrest somebody. That'll increase the crime stats. We're at a 60-year low.
Yeah, just look at the numbers we put up on our website.
Is there any person who lives in this city that sees, I don't know, the rampant lawless street takeovers every single weekend and then looks at Karen Bass and says crime is at a 60-year low and believes that nonsense?
I got into a fight this morning with a friend of mine who works at CNN, and we were talking about crime. We were specifically talking about what's going on in Washington, D.C., and my friend said to me, the stats say crime is going down, and I can't even have this conversation with you because you've turned into a conspiracy theorist on the subject of crime. You refuse to accept the numbers that are put out.
May I quote my friend George Gascon?
You can come up with data to support almost any argument.
Thanks, George.
Are we going through the same thing again? Tell me! Tell me!
His arrest nearly as loud as the blaring horns that brought...
By the way, this is a PSA right here why we need to end the federal ban on using Medicare dollars to fund mental hospitals with more than 16 beds.
That man belongs in a straitjacket.
Tell me!
His arrest...
We're trying!
Tell me!
His arrest nearly as loud as the blaring horns that brought LAPD here in the first place.
Answer my question! Answer my question!
He was just yelling right away. So we're like, oh, there's no missing that when he's yelling and screaming. Hear that from a mile away.
Gary Boyadzian taken into custody Wednesday night after months of countless complaints from his neighbors for this.
Months.
This guy has been doing this for a very long time, and no one at the city cared.
Deafening train horns that were placed high on a tree in his backyard. And if it wasn't the horn, it was his house alarm, also intentionally set off.
What kind of alarm company lets you just set that thing off constantly?
Yeah, isn't that going to tip off Rez?
LAPD says they've responded to his home on Peach Avenue in Van Nuys more than 5 times, and this morning gave him an administrative citation. But it clearly turned criminal. Boyadzian left for several hours, and when he returned, police were nearby, watching and listening.
He came out and thought everything was over, so he went out and watered his lawn, and a couple of the plainclothes vehicles just pulled up real quick and snatched him on the lawn. And
none of this would have happened if this street wasn't broadcast on every local television station yesterday.
Nope, it would have gone on for years.
He was yelling and screaming and resisting arrest, and he was screaming in the car. You could hear the car as it went down the street, could hear him screaming.
Boyanzian was taken away, but the horns haven't been taken down yet. But with no one home to set them off, at least it'll be quiet tonight.
The neighborhood's a huge relief. We know we're not going to hear that horn, and it's disrupting no matter what you're doing.
Earlier today, when we asked him why he sounds off the alarms, he unleashed an unsubstantiated story about the mafia trying to kill him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't have citations.
And LAPD assisting in the plot.
Some of the neighbors we spoke to say you have mental health problems.
They have mental health problems.
Okay.
My problem, he wants to kill me. My life is in danger.
That was very creative. They needed to bleep out the name that this guy keeps saying because we don't want to defame someone on television or radio. And instead of using a bleep, they used the train horn. ABC 7, congratulations. That's beautiful.
My problem, he wants to kill me. My life is in danger. If they don't want to seem to understand it, that's no problem.
LAPD.
So the way to have the police assist you because you believe someone's trying to kill you is by pissing off your neighbors for 5 months?
Oh, at this point, if we actually believe that someone was trying to kill you, I'd be willing to let you stay at home.
LAPD hasn't said what they've charged him with just yet, but for neighbors it's moot. Because for the moment, silence never sounded so good.
Finally. Yeah, so now we can relax and just live our lives the best way we can.
It is unclear at this point how long he will be detained. His family members are actually still here right now, including his mother. She's been here most of the evening. I tried to talk to them to understand their view of this entire ordeal, but they did not want to speak tonight. We're live in Van Nuys. Tim Caputo, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Now, again, this is one of these stories that's so bizarre and so explosive, you need to have multiple angles on it. I got a text last night from our friend over at Fox 11, Marla Tejas, and she said, turn on Channel 13 right now. The homeowner was arrested, and we got an exclusive interview with him.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
They let this guy talk for 5 minutes, and it is some of the craziest things I have ever heard.
Right now, we're going over all the latest on that nut in Van Nuys who was finally arrested by the LAPD for, well, setting off a train horn on a regular basis.
So hours before he was arrested by the LAPD, a Fox 11 reporter found him, stuck a mic in front of him, and just let him speak for 5 minutes. And this is about one of the craziest things you will ever hear. Are you ready?
Lay it on me.
So why were you blowing that train horn for 5 months, sir?
All right. Neighbors have been telling us about some kind of horn going off.
Well, I want our law, our justice system to do their job, and I want justice served. I have a man that's been terrorizing me, torturing me for the past 20 years in every way you can imagine.
What?
A man who has been terrorizing him for 20 years.
He robbed me out of everything. Not just financially, everything.
What's his name?
They bleeped that out because obviously.
How do you know him?
From 30 years ago, my ex-girlfriend, he's my ex-girlfriend's father. Okay. I caught her cheating on me, so I gave her a slap on the face and walked out of the relationship.
Okay, that's a way to end it, I guess.
And he thinks I am obligated to marry her. I don't know what my assumption is because that's all I've done.
And this is the reason why you are apparently blasting the horns?
Correct. I don't know what else to do. My life is in danger. He will kill me. He's capable of doing it. And
if you're in hiding, why are you drawing so much attention to yourself?
Doesn't seem logical now, does it?
He's capable of doing it, and he will do it. Nobody in his life has ever talked to him the way I've been talking about him the past 2 months.
And have you spoken to the police about him?
This morning they did come over. But back in 2013, with no priors, I had 13 arrests in 8 months. I would have people coming.
So now he's alleging that the father of the ex-girlfriend that he slapped 20 years ago organized the LAPD to arrest him 13 times.
Wow, that guy has juice.
I would have people come into my business, beat me up. The police would show up without even me getting the chance to call them. They would handcuff me, take me and charge me. The other guys they'll let them go. They would not let me speak. They would not let me say a word. They would not hear what I had to say. All 13 times.
And this is the reason, as you say, that you are
correct,
kind of blasting the neighbors.
Correct. I do apologize for the neighbors.
Can't wait for the Olympics to come here and visit our fine city with all these citizens that are legally insane.
We're going to be so ready to host the world.
Correct.
Kind of blasting the neighbors.
Correct. I do apologize for the neighbors. I'm sincerely sorry. I would be uncomfortable too. The noise is really loud. But
then why are you doing it?
Does he think someone else is setting off the train noise?
But my life is in danger. I don't know what else to do.
Okay. So what threats have been made to you?
Like what do you
to
mean?
Make your life in danger?
He's gonna kill me.
Uh-huh.
I'm not paranoid. I'm not
sure about that.
Someone buy this man a dictionary.
I'm not paranoid. I'm not crazy. I'm not psycho. I don't have any health issues.
You know who doesn't think they're crazy? Most crazy people.
Bingo.
They think everyone else is crazy, and they're the only sane one.
I don't have any health issues. If anybody thinks I have health issues, I'm willing to go get psychologically tested as long as they come with me.
Uh-huh.
I have no problems doing that.
And when did all this start happening to you?
About 20 years ago it happened, but a lot of it happened in 2012 and 13 when I had my business.
And what's your business?
It was an automotive repair shop.
And where was that?
It was right here on Hazeltine and Bessemer.
And what was it called?
AMG Diagnostics.
Is it still there?
The business is there. Mine. It's not mine. It's called something else. No, they stole it away from me. And they got me arrested. They got me locked.
This guy got his business stolen from him. He got arrested several times because he slapped his ex-girlfriend 20 years ago.
Everyone in the audience who has a degree in psychology is thinking to themselves, check, 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 check.
They got me locked up for 8 months for a criminal threat charge of the same people that robbed me, him and his cousin. They put a criminal threat charge on me. The judge put a $1 million bail on me for a criminal threat. How much bail?
Might have been more than a criminal threat.
Yeah, we saw the video between you and the Uber driver. We're aware of what kind of mouth you have.
How much bail do they put on murderers? Guys who are taken in for being suspected of murdering somebody.
Yeah.
I've heard 500,000, 700. So threatening somebody that robbed you, $1 million bail sounds.
Yeah. Where do we find out?
Well, he just admitted to the threatening
and the slapping.
Where do we find out about these cases? Are they in the
I'm sure they have it all.
LA courts system?
Van Nuys.
Van Nuys?
He used LAPD, Van Nuys Division, and the Van Nuys Courthouse to ruin my life.
No, I think your life was ruined before the Van Nuys Courthouse ever got involved.
And he's still doing it till this day. He just got me fired from Land Rover Encino.
Oh, right on Ventura Boulevard.
What was his job at Land Rover of Encino? Testing the horns?
Hopefully not in car sales.
Having other co-workers harass me for the past 7 years I've been there. And I kept on complaining to management. AutoNation would not do anything about it.
And where does this guy live?
He lives right...
Wait, is his ringtone a scary Halloween movie?
It sounds like it.
I think you get the point.
I am so glad I don't live next to him.
I bet you're so glad you don't live in LA County anymore.
You got that right.
This show is a daily walking PSA to get the hell out of LA.
It's fine to live in LA County. Just don't live in LA City. Glendora, they'd probably take care of this. Glendale, they'd take care of it. LA City, you got to go to the news. All right, the Fix California Hour's next. Don't you go anywhere.